Married at First Sight, Season 17, Decision Day. Well, we finally made it to Decision Day, which used to mark the end of the season, but it's not. However, I have to say that this episode was one of the spiciest so far this season. Plus, I have some rumors to add in a little more flavor. Hi, I'm Tamara, and this is Tamara Lynette Tells. Now, in this episode, they had three couples sit on the Decision Day couch. Becca and Austin, Emily and Brennon, and Clare and Cameron. First up, Becca and Austin. Now, their relationship was in bad shape. Becca said they haven't even spoken since Austin left the apartment, which to me wasn't a good sign leading into Decision Day. Now, they both walked into the room doubting their relationship and whether or not they can even overcome their problems. Becca said that she feels she's been living two different lives because Austin asked her not to bring up certain things on camera. Optics is all Austin seemed to care about. Now, when she finally decided to open up to the experts, Austin got upset with her because she wasn't painting him in a good light. Now, Austin said he thinks it's natural to worry about how he's coming across on camera. Okay, yes it is, but at the same time, you're not an actor and Becca is not an actress. So pretending like everything is great when we can all see it's not is giving us blah. It's giving us nothingness. It's giving us boring. If you don't want her to have bad things about you to discuss, don't do those bad things, sir. So he claimed that he does care about what she has to say. So they're going back and forth basically talking about how miserable they are. Austin because she doesn't trust what he tells her on or off camera, and Becca because she no longer feels grounded and doesn't know what to trust anymore. So all signs were pointing towards them saying no to staying married. Meanwhile, the experts were doing their best to convince them that they need more time, like time without the cameras in their face. Time without the cameras is not their problem, I don't think. I've never felt like Austin was 100% rocking with Becca. I believe he cares for her, but not enough to be her husband. So when it came time to share their decision on whether or not they wanted a divorce or stay married, Becca said, I want to say no to where this marriage has been, but I want to say yes to where it could be. Which was not a strong yes, but a yes nonetheless. Now, I'll explain why her yes was so weak, according to a rumor, that is, in a moment. Now, meanwhile, Austin said, I'm excited to say I want to stay married. Now, throughout the scene, they both looked worn out, torn down. Prior to getting married, like at the beginning of the season, they had so much energy, happiness, and optimism in their voice. This show seems to have sucked the life right out of them. In any case, they had their little sip of champagne to celebrate staying in their miserable marriage and went about their way. Now, according to rumors, originally when they sat at those couches, they both said no to staying married on Decision Day. Afterwards, producers pulled them aside and convinced them, possibly bribed them, to say yes because they were their strongest couple and they wanted a yes this season. So Austin and Becca agreed and went back in and retaped their decision. Now, this makes sense to me because if you think about the conversations they had with the experts, nothing these two talked about sounded like it was leading up to them saying yes to staying married. Even Becca's yes was kind of a no when she said, I say no to where this marriage has been, but yes to where it could be. So if this rumor is true, it's pitiful. Unfortunately, producers, at this point, we weren't rooting for them to stay together, so it doesn't feel good to hear them say yes to staying married. I think Becca deserves someone who is excited about her and makes her feel wanted and important. I don't think Austin is a bad guy so much, but I think he was dishonest about his feelings towards her. Now, later, we see Becca talking to the camera saying that Clare and Emily texted her to say that they were hanging out and spotted Austin out with a producer. What they didn't say is that it's the same producer they named their fish after. Now, clearly, there's a little more to this producer person, and perhaps she's a possible threat to the relationship. Now, at the beginning of the season, I shared a rumor that a producer got fired for fooling around with one of the cast members. The details on that situation are not clear because someone said it's possible that they weren't fooling around with a cast member. But if the rumor is true, it does sound like it could possibly be this producer in this situation. Emily and Brennon, raise your hand if you're on the edge of your seat wondering if these two were going to say yes to staying married. Exactly. That's what I thought. Now, before they showed up to the couch, Pastor Cal said that he thinks Brennon had a certain type in mind and Emily didn't fit into it and he wasn't able to move past it, which I think is interesting insight because these folks see and hear a lot more than what we do when it comes to what's really going on. Anyway, Emily and Brennon's decision day's sole purpose was so Emily and the experts could tell Brennon that he sucked. Everyone pretty much ganged up on him. So Brennon was patting himself on the back for not running at the first sign of a red flag like he normally would. And Emily was like, yeah, but you did run. And when he said he did everything he could to make the marriage work, Dr. P was like, no, you didn't. Then called him out for not doing the homework assignments she prescribed to them. Now, Emily complained that there were negative repercussions whenever she said anything negative about him on camera, and he would tell her to delete diary cams that he didn't like. In other words, she said he was trying to control the controllables. Now, he claims he was trying to protect Emily by choosing his words and using ones that were constructive and less hurtful. Now, Pastor Cal took a beat and put his hands in a praying position, like he was like hurting him, to come up with the right words to say this profound message that he needed to say. So he says, I say this with the utmost respect. I see BS. Now, I thought he was going to break something down for him in a pastoral type of way, but no, Pastor Cal couldn't take it anymore and he had to get gangsta. He was through with Brennon. Now, Dr. P had told Brennon, I don't see any ownership or accountability for any emotional disrespect towards Emily. They let Brennon have it. And I suspect that a lot of this fury from the experts actually came from the producers. While this season is being taped, the experts rely on producers to get the behind-the-scenes scoop of what's going on with these couples. And producers are all up in these couples' Kool-Aid. So while it did feel like Brennon was getting ganged up on, I can't say that he didn't deserve it. Now, of course, he has the right to not be attracted to Emily and not want to be with her, but he did friend zone her, then tried to pretend on camera that he was trying to make the marriage work, when it was obvious since the honeymoon ended that he was done with Emily. So Brennon had a hard time taking accountability for doing anything wrong. He kept apologizing for trying to protect Emily. I'm sorry for trying to protect you. I see now I was wrong. Now, throughout the season, some of the other wives, like Clare have said that Brennon talks down to Emily, and now the experts are saying it too. So I'm thinking there's some truth in that, but he refused to apologize for it from what they showed us anyway. So Emily said that he told her that he had enough dirt on her to ruin her life if any of it ever came out on TV. Then he said that Emily told him that she wants to go to war with him. Now, they both denied saying these things, but it sounds like they had a nasty fight and probably did say those things to each other in the heat of the moment and are now embarrassed to admit it on TV. They are a whole hot mess. In the end, Emily said she deserves to be treated better than the way he treated her, so it's a no to staying married. And Brennon said that he apologizes, that she felt silenced by him because that wasn't his intention, that they are not meant to be together, so it's a big fat no for him too. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel but plan on coming back, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, please also hit the like button. Thank you! Clare and Cameron. These two already called it quits. Clearly, producers needed to fill the hours, so they dragged them out of Judge Judy divorce court and plopped them on the decision day couch. Now, Cameron let Clare know that he appreciated her offer to be there for him when he was dealing with his health issues, but he wanted to conquer them alone. She said if it were her, she would want her friends and family rallying around her, but it's not about me. Now, they seem to be on the same page when it comes to their communication breakdown, that they couldn't find a way to get it together. Now, Cameron brought up his slender comment. When he said he asked the experts for someone slender, he said that he thinks Clare is slender, but Clare basically fought him, saying that she's not slender, which led her to believe that he's not attracted to her. And she even admitted that she has body issues. Now, I thought it was telling that Clare was going around accusing Cameron of being critical of her body when all along she's the one who's being critical of her own body. I get the feeling that Clare projected her various insecurities onto Cameron, which contributed to the downfall of their marriage. Not that Cameron has no blame. In the end, Cameron said he sees Clare as a family member and not attracted to her as a wife anymore. And Clare says she wants someone who she can express herself to without having to explain it all the time. I mean, they already said no to each other 4 weeks ago, so they made it official by saying no while sitting on the decision day couch. This was unnecessary. After decision day, now this is where things get spicy. So, to the confessional cam, Austin said he thinks he and Becca are in a good place. Hope they'll be riding out into the sunset, right? So, Becca gets right to it and asks Emily and Clare what they did last night. Clearly, she was setting the scene to confront Austin. They said, "We went out." Then she turned to Austin and asked, "Did you go out?" He said, "Yes." "Was there a producer there too?" And he said, "No, I don't know." Austin, I don't know. Oh my God, you're such a bad liar. Becca was mad and said that the main problem I've been telling you with our marriage is that I can't trust what is real and what is not. And you think the answer to that is going out with a producer? Austin said, "I didn't go out with them. I ran into them." "No, you didn't. You must think I'm a dumb bitch," is what Becca said. Ooh, Becca, she was hot. Clearly, this producer has come up in their conversations before or something, because Becca had a problem with him hanging out with that one in particular. So I don't know if this was planned or not, but this scene felt like their true decision day. Becca even said, "The reason I wanted to say no on decision day is because I can't trust the authenticity between us, and this has officially shot it to hell." Now, if they just agreed to staying married yesterday, wouldn't they be excited and want to hang out and celebrate their big decision together? Why was she at home while Emily, Clare, Austin, and the crew were out partying? Could it be that maybe she wanted nothing to do with Austin? Reason number 32 why I believe the rumor that they initially said no on decision day is true. Now, in the midst of their argument, Clare chimed in to say that she feels like there's a theme of the wives being silenced. She's saying that all of the husbands are guilty of this, except for Michael, of course. Now, Cameron was like, "Hold up. I would like to address the topic of being silenced. In our marriage, who was the one being silenced?" And Clare was like, "Well, when I told Emily about Brennon wanting to date, you said I should stay out of their marriage." Clare, that's not being silenced. That's being told to mind your own dang business. I think you're being a little dramatic by calling it anything else. But I'm not going to lie, if Emily were someone I built a bond with, I would have told her to. Now, Cameron went on to say, "You were the one telling me behind the camera what I could and could not say." Clare said, "There are secrets and things everyone else doesn't need to know. That's not the same thing." Girl, stop trying to make yourself the victim. Cameron telling you to mind your own business is not the same as you telling him what he can and cannot say on camera. But by now it was too late. Cameron was on a roll and he said, "And another thing, I want to clear the air and set the record straight. I was the one who told Brennon, let's go out and have a good time and go on a double date." Now, Emily hopped in to stop them from fighting, and Cameron said, "I've literally lied every day of this marriage to protect her." Emily was like, "What's with you guys trying to protect us? We don't need protecting." Now, to the confessional cam, Cameron said, "To be accused of silencing Clare when all of our off-camera conversations are her telling me what I can and cannot share is so hypocritical. And by the way, that she's not attracted to me, that's one of those things she told me that I couldn't say out loud. And look, I literally just walked away from the group and I'm literally getting text messages from her saying, don't let her secrets out. Clare has been manipulating me from day one." This was a whole hot mess. Now, in my opinion, this little group fight made the women look bad. It felt planned out by them, and it backfired a little because Cameron didn't take it sitting down and ended up calling Clare out. But it felt like the ladies decided that they were finally going to say what they weren't able to say all season because they were being silenced, as they put it. But unfortunately, so much bitterness had bubbled up in them that it just felt like a verbal wrestling match with no winners. Now, after all was said and done, Lauren said she was open to being friends with Orion. I don't know why she keeps letting him back in. It feels like she spent 7 weeks getting over a 10-day relationship. Like, let him go already, girl. Now, Becca tearfully told the confessional cam that Austin makes this world a better place, but she's not right for him. Now, Austin told the confessional cam that he feels blindsided and doesn't know what to do. Child, you might as well go back and hang out with the producer because your marriage is over. And with that, decision day was done. I would be surprised if any of these wives remain friends with their husband after this. These 3 decision day couples seem so bitter. I don't know if there is room or desire for a friendship between them, but since the season is not over, I suspect we will see more conversations between these folks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hoping those conversations will be more spicy like they were in this episode. That group meetup was the most excitement I've seen all season. Since I don't believe any of these couples were good for each other, I'm not upset that they didn't make it. I'm actually happy that it's finally over and they can go back to the dating apps. Unfortunately, this is not the end of the season though. We still have a few episodes left, including Michael and Chloe's final days leading up to their decision day. And I'm sure we'll see the rest of the cast meeting up to talk about their lives now that they have moved out of their shared apartments. Blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, that's all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.